All right. Good morning, everyone. It is Winning Women's Wednesday. Live. I'm Rick here at Studio USA with my fabulous co-host, Michelle.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us.
And our fabulous guest,
Miss Julie Altemus. We are so excited to have her with us today. I know her from the DFW Real Producers publications, but she is also an incredible on-camera specialist. Tell us a little more about you and your business.
Wow. Thank you, Michelle.
Yes.
It's so fun to be here. And Rick, thank you so much for having us
Absolutely.
today. So really, my story comes out of being a news anchor for almost 15 years for the city of Plano. And I actually hosted 2 Emmy-winning programs. Woohoo! And so
On
I learned,
TV?
On TV.
That's so cool.
So I was their anchor and reporter for a long time. Obviously got a lot of experience, but it didn't start off that way because I was sort of like thrown into the fire. I've totally volunteered because I heard about the position that was open, and at the time I was attending SMU. And so I was not finished with my degree, and on top of that, it was a BA in communications. So they taught you how to do news writing, but they didn't teach you how to have presence on camera.
Okay, so it was the mechanics of this is what the person is going to say and this is where it comes from versus you're the person, this is how you say it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were just busy writing news scripts about fires and murders and everything else. And so when I got the job, I was like, oh my gosh, now what? And then for the first time ever, I realized I had a Texas dialect because I hit the play and record button on a cassette to start practicing how to read the news.
She said cassette.
I
She
love
said
it.
cassette.
I did say cassette. All you people under there that are under 40, you might not know that.
Oh, yeah. Does anybody know physical media anymore at all?
Not really.
I mean,
Not
those
really.
the guys here probably vaguely remember CDs.
Yeah,
right.
CDs.
Yeah,
Wow.
they still exist. So yes, I pushed play and record, and I realized I sounded just like this, and I was like, there is no way you can sound like that on camera. And so I started studying all the greats, Diane Sawyer, Peter Jennings, all the people back in the day, and I listened to how they would pronounce one word at a time, and I would copy it. And then I watched how they stood on camera, what they did with their body, their hands, their everything. And that is how I learned how to have camera presence. And then, of course, you know, all those years then of being on camera, I had a lot of time to practice, as you can imagine. So now moving forward, here I am at this stage in my life, retired from news, still love to do television things, podcast things, whatever. And I realize there's such a need, especially after COVID. 49 million people, according to Success Magazine, did not go back to work, and they became well, not all 49 people, but 15 million of those became entrepreneurs.
Really?
Now, since then, the numbers are doubling more and more and more. And as you've noticed, your Facebook pages, your Instagram pages are full of ads. Well, they're all me's.
Yeah.
And they're all full of yous. And they're all full of entrepreneurs that want to do their own thing. And I found one common thread, and that is after interviewing almost 500 realtors now in the last almost 2 years, not even quite 2 years, is that so many people are scared to death of the little green light, and in some cases the little red light. They're scared of the camera.
Yeah.
And they don't know what to do with themselves. They don't know how to stand. They don't know what to do with their body, their hands, or they don't like the way that they sound, the way that they look, the way that they feel on camera. So this is where I step in and I help people get beyond those fears and become confident on camera if they want to be a face either for their business, their ministry, authoring a book, or whatever it is,
Love
appearing on podcasts.
Well, and I would say it is the overwhelming majority of folks. That,
Oh, for sure.
And it's like, I always encounter, they want to, where it's like somewhere in the recesses of their mind, they realize, oh, I should be out in front talking about my thing, my stuff, my, whatever it is that they do. And then whether it's the internal monologue or whatever is keeping them from it, where it's like you said, I hate how I look and how I sound. It's like, well, that's how you look and sound in real life. Sorry.
Exactly.
Or we can lean into that. So what is your essentially like building blocks, or how do you start somebody like where they come in? Because I deal with it every day. I'm petrified. I want to, but So how do you get somebody to even start along those lines?
I first have to talk to them about mindset. Because you said something just now, you said, well, that's always the way that you looked and always the way that you sounded. But somehow when they see themselves on camera, they're like, Oh my gosh.
It's a whole different look.
Right. And I realize sometimes the camera accentuates things that, flaws in our face or whatever. But thousands of people have been seeing you like that ever since, you've existed. So
I'm feeling very judged right now.
Well, and I will say that I didn't get old until I saw the first clips of what we were doing. I'm like, oh, dude, who's the old guy? Like, when did that happen?
Yeah, it doesn't lie. The camera does not lie. Not video,
Video especially.
Yes.
We can filter up some photos, and we can do some like bite-sized chunks on Instagram or the social media stuff that kind of pads the stats, if you will, as far as the looks go. But to really do it, and like my underlying philosophy of everything, and I think this probably ties into your like mindset deal, is I want what's on the label to match what's in the can. Meaning that whenever they meet you after seeing your content, they feel like they know you, or at least you're halfway there. Which like that is, I could not overstate and overemphasize like how important that is. And it's like, that's a thing you don't know until you know. Because a long time ago, one of the first folks that I worked with, she actually sat in the model home of the brownstones of Las Colinas every Saturday and Sunday. And my whole job was to drive traffic there. But it's like, I literally shot her in situ, where it's like literally, okay, here she is in the model. And that was where all the content started from. And then when people came in, it was exactly what they saw.
Right.
I think it's so important. People are scared of the camera, don't want to be on the camera. Maybe they want to do their videos with voiceover or whatever. But if you think about it, the people that you follow and that you listen to on podcasts and the people that you see show up on social media, and you're watching them talk, you're watching their Instagram reels, their Facebook reels and videos, those are the people that you feel connected to the most. And for me, there's power, there's buying power there.
Absolutely.
And so while you can do the voiceovers and ignore your face, we just, at the end of the day, we have to get over our own self and realize that it's about bringing value and adding value to the public. When you look at it through those lenses, your mind shifts. Because it's not all about you, it's about what you're giving to other people.
So true.
And to me, I'm just like a perfect textbook case, if you will, because over this last 2 years, when I really started to develop my own entrepreneurial business and really dove head first, all of the people that I've bought from, that I've purchased from, have been people that I see, their faces over and over and over, and podcasts that I listen to over and over and over, because when you're watching podcasts, you start to know a person. They start to tell you, the little things will seep out here and there that you start to learn about a person, and then all of a sudden you can connect with them, and that is the key, learning how to connect with your audience through the lens of a camera. And so that's what I help people learn how to do.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And that's different. When you're trying to figure out how to connect with your audience through the lens of a camera and know that there's buying potential on the other side of that, if that's your purpose,
Yes.
then that's a different game. That's a different mindset.
Yes. We're like, yes.
buy me.
Consume.
Or listen to my content. Maybe it's just a ministry. And so the purpose is not buying, it's educating, it's discipling, it's encouraging, it's inspiring. Whatever your mission is on the other side of the camera, it's important, I think, to have your face present.
There you have it. Obviously, we're sitting.
Here we are.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly endorse that as we
Yes.
sit in front of all the cameras,
Yes.
and I love it. And I love the fact that you are addressing a pain point that not only, like I said, the overwhelming majority of folks have. It is a pain point that isn't nearly. It's what is the saying? It's a mile wide and a mile high, but it's like a fraction of an inch thick.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, like if you go through it, it's like, oh, that wasn't nearly what I thought it was going to be. It never is.
Right.
You
It's
know?
true.
And
That
this
is
whole
so
thing,
true.
this is the most fun I have. And for the longest time, I didn't want to be the guy in front of the camera, because I was always the guy behind the camera. And to be fair, and to pull the curtain and tell on myself, when I was the guy behind the camera, there was a lot of imposter syndrome until I had like the skins on the wall or whatever. So now you come in here and it's like, oh, this is a thing in a place, so it's like, okay, there's a little bit of bona fides here. How do you guys address that as far as like the imposter syndrome, where
You said it perfectly. You just have to jump in and do it. And then there's so many testimonies that I have now with people that I've worked with on the set, coached them through the hard thing. And the funny thing is they get so frustrated with themselves because they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so serious on camera. I can't smile. You know, all the things that we have to get over. And with me coaching them on the set and saying, you're not smiling, you don't have energy or whatever it is, and walking them through the process while they're creating the content, there's power in that because I can catch things that they normally wouldn't do on their own or see on their own, I mean. And so powering through that, they come out on the other side, and now I have these amazing testimonies with people that will text me and call me and say, guess what? I'm doing this, I'm doing my own content now, and I'm creating videos several times a week. And guess what? It's only taken me 2 times or 3 times per video, and they're so proud of their accomplishments. So literally, it's what you said, just powering through that start and helping them get over those humps and coaching them through the process of the tiny steps of the little changes that they need to make. And then they come out being content creators, hosting their own podcasts or being on podcast or creating video content to put out on social media or doing email marketing campaigns.
So who do you find is the most challenging to work with as far as a confidence issue?
My most challenging client was a person that spoke 5 languages.
Really?
Yes, and so the challenge there was we don't put ing on this word, but we put ing on that word. And so she was so multifaceted. She's such a great value because she can get on video and speak 5 different languages and reach 5 different people groups. I mean, in my opinion,
incredible.
this person needs to be a billionaire because she can hit so many people groups and connect with so many. But her biggest hump was the language barrier. And so becoming confident in English or confident in the Spanish or confident in the Italian to do video content in each of those languages and learn how to connect and say it properly through the lens of the camera.
Interesting. Interesting.
So, that's probably not what you thought I was going to say.
No, because I don't have that problem.
No, me either.
If I can get the one language right on camera, we're doing great.
I'm struggling with English.
Yes.
Although I have encountered that where English wasn't the first language and they were making English content, English speaking content. And the thing, this kind of goes to like the minutia or the nuance that would be there as far as when you are bringing that out, you know, the personality out or whatever of the actual person on camera. It would have never, if I'd have lived to be 1,000, it would have never occurred to me that English as a second language, while grammatically perfect and everything was like fantastic as far as the grammar, the sentence structure and all of that, but the gal didn't understand or she was struggling with where to put the inflections.
Yes, and because of that, it's hard for them to focus and have energy.
Yeah,
and
because they're
happiness,
concentrating.
Because they're concentrating on their language.
Yeah,
and
they're
just
writing a
trying to get it
paper
right. Yes.
in their mind. And it was unintentionally robotic. And then whenever she explained like, well, I don't know how to, it was like, no, the words are fine. And she was trying to convey that like, not that I don't know how to say the words, I don't know where to emphasize the syllables.
Yes, yeah.
And like there.
The syllables.
Yes.
Where to emphasize the syllables. And, another thing too, Michelle, sometimes people just like they need this energy to come through the lens of a camera because when you turn the camera on, you could sound really boring very fast.
Yes.
So you have to like overemphasize things on camera so that you just look normal.
Yeah. Especially if it's
So-
not a very exciting topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Let's talk title insurance.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
So this one lady was like, oh my gosh, I can't get over myself. Like, I'm so serious. She goes, I just need a tequila shot right now. And I said, really? I could fix that. So I know, not that I'm advocating go drink tequila, but if you need an espresso shot, if you need to walk up and down your room and just kind of jog in place, just anything, rah, 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 be your own cheerleader in your living room or wherever before you hit record, you're going to need some energy when you get on camera. So that's another thing I think that is a kind of a common thread with people, is getting them to be energetic and almost become like a little actor or a little actress.
Yeah.
Because you do have to overemphasize the syllables.
The syllables. Speaking of energy, our dear co-host, what do you take for energy?
Oh, it's my magic mind.
Yes.
No, actually, so I live on fizzy water and black coffee.
You do? You
Yes.
do?
And I only eat once a day. So I have this, I'm this creature of habit and routine. And so I have found in life that I'm either going to be emphasizing and living through my bad habits or my good habits. And so now at like 19 years sober, it's like, you know what, let's stick with fizzy water and black coffee.
And your matcha shot. Tell us
my
more.
my little matcha shot. I want to get one of these free, Magic Mind. So they'll be tagged on Instagram.
Excellent. Excellent. What's in it?
It's like nootropic stuff where it's got the lion's mane and all the different, it's supposed to make you like smarter or more cognitively, sharp.
Okay.
And so,
I like it.
even if it's the placebo effect, which I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's 100%
Scientifically
scientifically
proven,
valid
for sure.
and proven.
And you're very energetic right now. So.
Well, and I'm wired to where I don't have an alarm clock, so I'm kind of shot out of a cannon around between 5:30 and 6 a.m.
Nice.
And for good or ill. But I do my melatonin at night, where I'm literally taxiing. I'm landed taxiing back towards the terminal by like 9:30. I'm reading on the iPad with an audiobook going, and the light's already out, and it's so I live comparatively. I live a very boring life as to what I used to live whenever I thought
you
I
have the
wanted
memories.
Well, yeah, sort of.
Maybe.
Yeah, sort
Maybe
of.
you do.
Maybe.
Yeah. And even they're specious. It's like, maybe I think that happened. Or maybe that happened to somebody else and I've incorporated it into my story. I don't know.
It's okay.
Greater than zero chance. But for me, the whole thing of having the routine, it made it easier whenever I was going to deviate off and do something new. And again, the adaptability thing and to be able to pivot, because all of these live shows that we do here now, at least where I'm involved, came out of, we were doing the test runs and it went out without sound.
Oh,
So
no.
it was like, I hadn't really intended on being on camera and doing this, but it ended up where, okay, well, I will set the bar so low and that it just has to work. That's all I care about, So like my content bar to get this out at the beginning was, does it work? Is there sound? How does the picture look? Because then when people that were coming in later in the day that were paying to go live, it all worked. So it was more of a value add, not even a value add, but just like a bare minimum requirement meant. And then it turns out this is the most fun I've had in forever, and then,
Love it.
Yes. And so like we do the random topic, we do and then Michelle has her like prepped questions. And then this all came out of, she was unexpectedly the badass co-host, where she was going to be she went from substitute Wayne.
Yes.
To Wednesday.
Hi, Wayne.
Yeah.
He's amazing, though. Great
Yes.
coach. Great real estate coach.
Yes.
Wednesday. So she went she's like the Wayne of Wednesday mornings now.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So, okay. So you do a lot of things for real producers.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have your private business. How do you handle work-life balance?
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah. With 3 boys and a
Yes,
husband.
Yes.
Yes.
And 2 puppies. Can't forget the puppies because really they're
That's
like-
on you. That's
like-
on you. That second one, when I saw him on Facebook, I was like, what is she doing? Even I know better.
It's called empty nest syndrome. Because my youngest one is 21, and he's a filmmaker, cinematographer, super proud of him. All 3 of our boys. Well, work-life balance is difficult because I'm also caring for a mom that's aging and has dementia, and she lives with us.
Oh, my.
So
That's tough.
there's that too. Work-life balance has been hard. There's even a moment, literally like a month ago, where I just broke down and I was like, I'm just going to have to put self on a little slower with the acceleration pedal. And so then I had a come to Jesus moment, where I can't do it all. I want to do it all. I could do it all, but I can't. I feel a little bit of the restraint. So work-life balance, I have to choose very carefully what I say yes to.
How do you do that?
Well, I in my head anyway, I have like this little scale.
Okay.
Okay, is this going to advance me? Is this going to help me? Is this going to help me get to where I'm going? Because listen, I feel like I'm running out of time. Like I read a statistic that most people do their greatest amount of work beyond 50.
I'm agreeing with that.
Yes.
I agree with that.
And I
because
think-
you know more.
I think to that, and I think it's like your second season because you're not so busy doing children anymore and running
Yes.
everybody around and doing all the sports events and all the or dance or whatever it is that your child is into.
Yeah.
And so this is your time to run.
Yes.
And so because I feel like my days are counting backward in a way, in a good way, then I feel like what is it that I need to do today that will fulfill my purpose that I feel like I'm supposed to do and supposed to fulfill. So I'm very careful and strategic about my yeses.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that.
And you're a yes today.
Thank you.
And Rick, you're a yes today.
All right. That goes in the win column.
That's a win. That's definitely a
It
win.
is Winning Wednesday.
It is.
Women's Winning Wednesday.
Hey. Yeah. And hey, we have a logo.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yeah, so the logo makes it official. We all know that in America.
Ta-da!
Yeah, you're nothing without a logo because branding is everything.
Yes.
And the animated logo will be done probably by the end of the week. So by next week, but Julie is the first logoed guest.
Logoed
Yeah,
guest.
hey, and I could maybe say I color coordinate just a bit.
Yes.
You
With
do. You do.
Absolutely.
The whole greenish thing going on.
Awesome. So you mentioned purpose.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit more about that. How do you identify what fits in with your purpose?
Purpose is such a great question. And I think it looks a little bit different for everybody depending on your beliefs.
And in different seasons.
True.
Yeah.
That is so true. Different seasons. My purpose right now is to make sure that I fulfill everything that God wants me to do before my life is over.
Awesome.
I don't want to get to heaven one day and not hear, well done, my good and faithful servant. I don't want to hear, well done, my good and faithful servant. You worked really hard. No, I want to hear, well done, my good and faithful servant. You did everything that I had purposed for you to do.
That's awesome.
That's what I want to hear. So right now I'm running the race. And what is important to me the most is helping entrepreneurs, Christian entrepreneurs, tell their story in a powerful way, utilizing video.
Awesome.
And so whether that is it doesn't matter if they're real estate agents, if they're financial planners, it doesn't matter, authors, it does not matter what they do as a profession. What matters is helping them become confident enough to run their business that way, using the power of video. You know, I read a statistic recently, $120 billion is going to be spent this year on video marketing alone.
Wow.
And that was just one stat from Forbes. If you start looking at other statistics from other resources, video is just on this massive fast track.
Yeah.
I think because it's a lot of it's been democratized. You know, so like whenever you'd been in news and, 34 years ago or whatever, whenever I first went to the Art Institute and, the things that I was learning on, the camera was $15,000, just to have the ability to shoot video. And that might be like very limited video. And then it'll be another $50,000 or $100,000 to have an editing suite. So the democratization of video and just to be able to bring like the cost effectiveness into it and there's not a whole lot of gatekeepers left. So I imagine whenever you were in news, somebody had to say like, not to be, like Julie looks good enough to be on camera, so now it wasn't a matter of Julie wakes up on Thursday and decides she wants to try making video. It was more like you had to go to the gatekeeper. The gatekeeper had to let you through. And then there had to be this essentially infrastructure.
You know what's beautiful about the season that we're in now today is that I could start my own news program right now on YouTube and within a short amount of time monetize it and make more money there than I would if I were to work for a news station.
Absolutely.
And still have, millions of followers.
Absolutely.
I think it's given each of us who have a talent that want to be on
desire,
camera
yeah.
and a desire that want to be on camera, the sky's the limit. You can do anything.
That's
And so
awesome.
just helping people, coaching people through that process so that they can achieve their own dreams, that's what I feel passionate about.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love that.
That's my purpose in this season.
And you get so excited when you say it. I can
I
tell.
do.
It's
I
awesome.
love it.
Awesome. I love that.
While some people might be scared of the camera, I'm obviously not.
Oh yeah, I freely,
And I love helping people.
I freely admit I love the sound of my own voice. So it's like, yes, absolutely.
awesome.
And you have a good one.
You do.
Oh, thank
you have
you.
a radio
Thank you.
voice
Thank
for
you.
sure.
Yes, he does.
Radio
Definitely.
face too.
She can help with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say. See, I'm playing right into the right into the business model.
Okay, so question. We've been sitting here talking for about 30 minutes now. What have you seen that Rick and I can do better?
Wow. How many times have you looked in the camera and spoke to the audience, Rick?
Ooh,
None.
I don't think I have either. I'm doing it now. I feel awkward.
So I've been very intentional. My camera is right here. I've been intentional. Yes, I'm talking to you and I'm talking to you, but more importantly, I'm talking to them. And I think
My
that's-
dad and my husband.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Hi, guys.
I assume we're
Your
talking
dad,
to
your
Peter, who's just over there watching.
Yeah.
No, I know, because we're just going to be believing that this is going to spread around and it's going to
Absolutely.
help somebody. But speaking to the lens of the camera is really important. So that's one of the things that I think we could have done better. You could have done better, or you could have done better.
Awesome.
Now, energy is there.
Okay, good.
Smiles are there.
Good.
That's difficult for people to do, is smile on camera. And you are authentically yourself. And that's what we want. A lot of people think out there when they're first getting started that they have to be perfect. That is so far from the truth. And as AI is becoming even more and more prevalent, you are going to see that more and more of the audience craves the authenticity.
Absolutely.
They don't want the
Absolutely.
AI content. They don't want the unleash this and unlock that, which is a common term that you see
Yes.
on AI. And so they don't want that. They want you. And so being your authentic self, whatever that looks like, is what they crave.
Love
and
it.
so you were smiling, you had energy, same. It's just connecting with the lens of the camera. He's staring at you now.
So where can they find you?
All right, so my website would be a great place. You can connect with me there. There's a
Awesome.
tab that says Work with Jules or Connect with Jules. And so
Okay.
that's www.jules, Jules, Altemus.com. And then for any of you out there who want to do video, or maybe you've already started and you would like a free resource that I have that's a pre-recording checklist. I give you all the things to think about before you ever hit the record button. And then I have 3-hour workshops that I do with people as well. And then some coaching also for those folks that kind of just want to have that one-on-one touch. But the free resource, you can get that in the same spot. Just go to my website, julesaltemus.com, connect with Jules, send me an email, and I will send you that resource. Just put in the subject line, pre-recording checklist, and I'll send that to you.
Right
Awesome.
on.
Awesome. Rick, what do you have coming up?
Fired Up Friday.
Awesome.
Yeah, so this week, I'm super excited. So it's Good Friday.
Yes.
So normally
Good
we
Friday.
would just pull a topic out of the digital hat, but Russ Kidwell is coming in with Bishoy. So it's like we got double-decker real producers, rock stars coming in.
Awesome.
And so we are going to do good culture on Good Friday.
Love it.
I love
And of
that.
course, Wayne will be my co-pilot. So it'll be,
Awesome.
oh, look at this. Look at me looking at the camera. It will be dialing in for the specifics and going granular on what makes a good team.
Oh, that's awesome. I
know,
love that.
And just as a personal note there, I was always raised in the world of production covers a multitude of sins, which in the accounting department, it absolutely does.
For sure.
But
for sure.
in the team building world, it sucks.
Not so
It is
much.
locker
Not so
room
much.
poison.
Yes,
So
for real.
That's what I'll be bringing.
I love it.
I'll be bringing what not to do.
Hey, perfect, perfect, perfect. Awesome. And for me, I have a amazing class I'm starting next week on mastering your schedule.
Yes.
Yes, I'm excited
So
for that.
needed.
Yes.
I probably need that myself.
Yes, it's how to master your schedule. It's a lot of fun. So you can check that out on michelleozimi.com. And I'm going to be looking for the moving logo.
Yes, animated logo coming soon. And now that is our hint for Peter to kill the feed.
Wow.
We are done.